Okay, we're here talking about perhaps one of the biggest titles of the year. Karl, would that be right?
I don't know, I hope so.
We were just, we've just actually come by here past the stand, and the size of the stand you guys got is absolutely massive, but a lot of pressure to get this selling well.
Well, I mean, we don't focus on the sales numbers. More important for us is the pressure of making the best game that we can, naturally. I mean, we are quite competitive within the studio. We always compete against ourselves first and foremost, and making a better game than we had before. And our ambitions with Battlefield 3 is extremely high. Not only because we want to create the game that we want to play ourselves, but also a game that, since it's the almost like the spiritual successor to Battlefield 2, there's a lot of heritage that comes with something like that, and there's a lot of opinions from the community, which we do listen a lot to. So yeah, there's a lot at stake, and we're ready for it.
Can you sort of talk to us about co-op? Can you sort of get into that for us?
Absolutely. I mean, here at Gamescom we're showing a co-op mission called Exfiltration. It's one out of 6 missions that are, the co-op is 2-player based. It's kind of a special mission from the co-op angle because it starts out with a more sneaky section. You have to go silent in the beginning and try to get a high value target out of a safe house and then escort him out of the city. So again, it shows a lot of variation. If you play the Metro map that we had before in Rush, you'll know that we start out with the open lush green and then into the subway and then into the city. We want to do the same with this map. In this case, you start out with a sneaky section, then you have to escort the Humvees through roads. When you're done with that, you have to defend them on a static position, and then you actually get into the jeeps and you actually have a bit of a rail section, and then you get out again and there's a huge epic fight in the end. So there's a lot of tight urban warfare in that co-op mission.
So with rolling in co-op into Battlefield 3, do you have to think about that when designing the maps, when designing the levels, and how it operates for sort of like a fight?
Well, I mean, the co-op missions are separate, so they are not. It's not single-player co-op, and they're not based on the multiplayer maps straight off. The maps are built just for the co-op, and that was actually because we wanted to create this more unique and special feeling in the co-op. Naturally, we've been lending, assets, etc., so you wouldn't recognize that it's not completely new from that sense. But they've been custom built for the co-op mode, and it's really important for us to make the best co-op mode that we can.
I was going to say, I mean, what do you feel that the co-op is an essential part now of any FPS? Is it an essential part of Battlefield to have that alongside the single player, alongside the multiplayer?
I would say yes, especially since we're trying to create this, really blockbuster proposition for, there should be something in Battlefield 3 for everyone. But we're going to wait and see. I mean, we're going to see if this is successful. If there's a lot of people playing it, then naturally we'll continue with it. If no one, for some obscure reason, don't like it, then we might not do it anymore. I mean, we're quite dedicated to listening to what our fans out there actually think about our games. We listen to what people say on the forums, on Twitter. We do follow people, and ask them, what do you think? We interview them, like we going back to the community. And even though we can't answer every question from the community, we do listen everywhere, so it's very important for us to hear what they are saying. And we have made a lot of changes in the game as it is now, just based on that feedback.
And what sort of testing are you guys doing in the studio? I mean, obviously enough, you guys want to make sure co-op is just right before you bring it to an event like this, yeah?
I mean, it's nerve-wracking going up on stage at a press conference like this and playing like pre-beta software. There are bugs, there's crash bugs. The co-op mode, there's like a random factor in there as well, so depending on how you play it, the enemies come at you in different ways, etc. And that makes it always very scary when you show it on stage. So yeah, the team back home have been doing an awesome job of just preparing the build, so me and Patrick could go up on stage and showing it.
And where's the game at now? Obviously, X the next few months, X out. Are you guys pretty much done? It's just all spit and polish now?
It's always down to the wire. There's always something that we want to fix. There's always something we want to polish more. There's always something that is not done that we need to get in, and fix. So as with all games that we are shipping, it's down to the wire. So the team back home is working really, really hard. I'm super proud of what they're doing and the effort they're putting into it, and I'm sure that Battlefield 3 is going to be absolutely amazing when it gets out.
And have you guys got, obviously, I always hate bringing this up, but it's an obvious question, I suppose, in this day and age about digital distribution and DLC. Is there a thought process behind DLC post-launch?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and we don't see this as something negative. I mean, we see, post-launch content as something that really revitalized the community, and of course, listening to what the community want, what kind of maps and these kind of things. So, yeah, we have some things up our sleeves that we haven't announced just yet. But of course, we have the first map pack called Back to Karkand, which includes like a couple of new formatted but old BF2 maps that are going to come back.
I guess it's sort of you're entering a packed field. And I'm not talking about the FPS young, I'm just talking about a very packed winter schedule. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? And I mean, how do you feel about maybe looking at it wider? So many fantastic games, but all packed into such a tight space. Do you think that's a good thing, a healthy thing? Is that just something to hook people the year round, waiting for these things to come out?
I mean, it's interesting that everyone seems to be buying the most games there, and as long as people do that, there will be a lot of titles coming out at that point. We're very confident with the title that we have, and we feel like it's the right window for us to go in this. It's the first time we put it right there in the holiday season, but we feel ready for it. We feel that Battlefield 3, has enough attention to actually break through the noise.
Listen, I think that's about us, so thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us. Can't wait to play it. Good luck.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.